Hey everyone, Jay Collier from the Photography Workshop Co. coming to you again with another review on a brand new bag that is a game changer for those after something minimalist, compact, light, in a top roll and side access bag from Shimoda. Today I'm going to have a look at one of three new products in a side mount configuration that are very urban and minimalistic that Shimoda have just released. Today I'm going to talk to you about the new Side Street, which is part of the new side mount bags that Shimoda have just released in the past few weeks globally. There are occasions when I go out and photograph where I don't need a full-size backpack and I want something that's going to blend in an urban environment that's not going to draw as much attention to the fact that I'm carrying a camera bag. Or for those that are familiar with Shimoda's lineup of products, they generally make bags that are wire-framed, that are made for hiking, made for large amounts of equipment, for, say, nature, landscape photographers going out with a large amount of kit. Now, those bags I've been using for several years now exclusively, and today I'm going to have a really good consideration and a look into a bag that will suit smaller camera kits when you're just going out and need quick access. There's one thing to be said about the Action X series and the Urban series that Shimoda produce is they are backloading bags, which means you lay the whole camera bag down to access the back panel to get into your equipment, which makes for a setup where you are pulling several lenses in and out of your bag. If you're in an urban environment, you may find taking the bag off every time you want to access your camera gear might be a little restrictive, or could get you to the point where you stop taking pictures because it's becoming too much effort. Now, the point of the Side Street is, as it suggests, a street bag. So street photographers, people traveling through cities where you need quick access to your gear without having to remove the whole camera bag, lay it down to get in and out to access your equipment. Now, I'm going to have a very close look at all of the functions and features of this bag in a moment with you, but already this is my first view of this bag. It's only been on the market over the last 3 to 4 weeks. They've certainly only shipped in Australia just in the last 2 weeks. So let's have a deep dive right now and just see what the Side Street from Shimoda offers for photographers wanting a slim, lightweight, urban bag for a smaller camera kit. The Side Street is available in 2 sizes and 2 colors, either the 22 litre or the 28 litre. We have the 28 litre here with me today, and in 2 colors, both in the boa, which you see here, and also the traditional black. Both configurations in the 22 litre or the 28 litre can be purchased either with the bag only, with no top loader insert, which I'm going to show you in a moment. This is a modular system, which you'll see and will make sense in a moment when we start diving into what the bag does and how it operates. But in the 28 litre, you do have the option of a kit that comes with the medium-sized top loader, and you can purchase the bag on its own, as I've mentioned, and order the large top loader if you are using slightly more camera equipment. As I say, the kit's available at standard that come as a starter kit, comes with the medium top loader, and I will have both top loaders side by side to show you the difference about how much space is taken up. So if you are using longer lenses, larger camera bodies, or want to carry some extra accessories, I'd encourage the large, which will fit into the 28 litre. There is also a small. Now, the bag itself, you have the advantage, because it is a modular system, in getting to your location. If you're, for example, traveling using this as your carry-on camera bag as an example, you can pull the top loader system out, which does come with its own shoulder strap as well. So this can become an external camera bag, enabling you to fill your backpack with jackets, food, other things that you might be using on an urban trip or holiday or adventure, even to the point you could use this as an outdoor adventure bag as well on a shorter hike. So those familiar with the Shimoda range of bags, you would know all too well that they are extremely sturdy and built for outdoor adventure photographers. So they've decided to jump into the urban range that will suit people that don't need a large, sturdy, wireframe supported backpack, which are functional and featured up to the standards of what you would expect for an outdoor professional hiking bag, which is where Shimoda really stand on their own, producing bags that are at that very high-end professional hiking standard for photographers, fitting camera equipment. But as you know, you can pull removable inserts and camera buckets out, and you can use those bags as a secondary use, as a fully functional hiking system as well. Now with the side street, with its more urban design and modular system, it really suits those going out with what you see here. You might have battery chargers and accessories, or a set of headphones, a journal, a small notepad, or up to a 16-inch laptop, which will fit into the 28-litre. And you might be using, for example, one body, 2 to 3 lenses. And this will be the difference between whether you go for the large top loader insert or the included medium. So you do have the option of changing these out, and I'll show you how to change this system and access your camera gear in one moment. So let's start by looking at the bag. I'm just going to put the large top loader out of the road at the moment because the 22-litre has the medium insert already included in the starter kit that's available. So looking over the bag, extremely sturdy. The zippers are all high quality. The bag itself, material-wise, is made from what is called cordura. It's a highly sustainable product that's been made from recycled plastics from drink bottles and fishing line, and environmentally responsible, extremely rugged, tough, and abrasion and tear-proof. The same sort of material that's commonly used in high-end hiking packs, high-end hiking shoes, military equipment and materials that need to be standing up to the tests of punctures or abrasions. So the bag itself will be made for scraping in and out, getting out on and off trains, walking down alleyways, scraping into tight spaces, rather than using, say, a textile that is a cotton base, which is prone to tearing, fraying and puncture. This is the first time that Shimoda has gone down the avenue of not using leather on any of their parts. So all of the tassels on the end of the zippers are material and vegan friendly for those of you that want a truly ethical product. So coming around the back of the bag, as you'd expect, the best harness and strap systems in the market. I have used and have represented other bag companies in the past, and I've truly found using Shimoda over the last 5 to 8 years at least, the straps themselves being the most comfortable on the market. The reverse sides of the straps, they're quite thin, so they're not over padded. And at first glance, you might think too thin, but I think this plays into the advantage that they don't have over padding, which causes chafing, sweat, and trapping body heat, enabling them to ventilate and fit around the form of your body. You'll see that they are quite curved to suit both male and female torsos, with this sternum strap, which is adjustable up the top and bottom here, with quite a lot of throws. You've got quite a lot of distance you can adjust that sternum strap on. I will take some shots of myself wearing the bag in a moment just to show you the fit and function of the bag when it's being worn. All of the hardware as well is a different change. Rather than plastics, they are made from aluminium here. They are a coated metal buckle here, with all of your tension adjustment straps having the nylon tips into the stitching to stop them from fraying. Another thing you'll note is some small pass-throughs on these straps themselves. So if you are using camera clips, where you can clip products such as camera bodies, will attach to the front of the camera strap there as well. So moving on to the functions of the bag. So as you'll see, and if you are well used to the Shimoda range, you're used to seeing bags with a back access panel. Now by removing that back access panel, it stops the bag from having extra bulk and weight, and it's, as it suggests, the side street. This bag is made to be worn and to take half setup or full setup and lens systems in and out quickly while wearing the bag, stopping you from having to remove the whole bag, put it down, unload the back panel to access your equipment, which, as I discussed before, becomes tiresome, particularly if you want to stay low profile, out in the streets if you're traveling in foreign countries as an example, and for those street photographers that want to stay quite anonymous. Also at the back of the bag, you'll notice a top grab handle and a bottom grab handle, which is very, very useful for when you're moving the camera bag. So I find particularly if you are using it on location where you might have put the bag down, going through customs and x-rays, it just gives you the ability to pick up the whole bag rather than having to handle by the camera straps and have the bag swinging around unbalanced. So the back of the bag as well, you'll see that you do have the hip strap as well, which is also removable. So you can remove this strap and have no strap at all. If you want it to look more like an urban backpack that doesn't contain camera gear and less like a hiking bag, that is an option. And I definitely find when you've got lighter loads, the hip strap's not something you necessarily need. But the good news is that if you remove this and also remove the top loader insert that holds your camera gear, you can pass this through the top loader and have that as a separate sling bag. So you could get to a city on your trip, leave the whole backpack behind if you're going out with just one body, two lenses, and you want to keep something that's quite small and minimal. Or as I suggested before, you can work out of the top loader on your hip, wearing the backpack and filling that with jackets and potentially some stuff that you're out on an urban explore, and you might have purchased some food or some other things. Now there's some other features in the top of this bag which adds to having a bit of functionality as well for travel, where you find you may not have access to a smaller external bag. Now the top of this is a roll top. So you will see that the top will expand and enables you to have a lot more extra space. Another great touch that they've done is the inside of the bag itself, they've lined with a white color, and the inside of the bucket here at the top is removable. I will remove this in a moment, but the designers came up with the concept of the top bucket section that keeps all of the products that you've got in the top of the bag separate from the bottom of the bag is actually removable, and it becomes this small tote bag that you could use if you're going to the gym for a towel or sunscreen or some things where you just want a small bag to take without having to take additional laundry bags. It might be that you're out for a day and you've done laundry while you're traveling. Gives you the ability to have something that's quite waterproof. It stops anything that's wet or damp, like your jackets, getting any moisture into the bag itself. So the top roll will just roll back down, and you've got the magnetic clasps here to keep that closed, and the adjustment strap to adjust the tension. So you don't have to use the roll top to access the top of the bag, because at the top here you've also got the zipper which accesses that same section. And in the front you've got a full-length pocket. So the full-length pocket here goes all the way to the bottom of the bag and will fit up to a 16-inch laptop. Then behind that you've got access to that top bucket for any accessories. So you've got some small areas in here for example, headphones, chargers. You could pack a whole drone in the top of here as well, separate to your camera equipment. And in here, when it ships, you'll also find the weatherproof cover. So while the Cordura is highly resistant to water, it's not physically waterproof as such. So if you are in extremely heavy rain over extended periods of time, that can penetrate in through the bag, but it would require a huge amount of water or heavy rain. So that's why it does come with the weather cover. So moving on to the full functionality of the bag, you'll see on both sides you have a side access zipper that opens the side of the bags. Opening up, giving you access to an accessory pocket which is elasticized here for potentially drink bottles. It could be a section to stuff some other gear, a tripod. You'll also find the external side of the bag has an elasticized flap, so you can put drink bottles or tripods down the side with a small anchor point with the D-shackle, which shackles here and keeps your product secure. So the internal pocket can be used for anything else in your travels, and you'll also see two zippers on the inside of the pocket here for things like filters, spare batteries, or any other accessories that you might have. So moving over to the other side, this is where the full functionality of the side street gets its name from, being that it's a side accessed bag, not a rear accessed or top accessed bag for your equipment. So opening this side here, you'll see the internal camera unit itself. So on the front of the door here, there's a small sleeve that flips the lid of the top loader insert. So those top loader inserts are available separately, as you saw before with the large. I'm going to take the inserts out and compare the large and medium for you in just one moment. But you'll see by accessing your camera equipment, you've got access into your camera bag where you might have your camera with lens attached and a spare lens as an example. And it enables you to wear the bag. So once you have the backpack on itself, it's just a simple case of turning, unzipping the side of the bag, and it gives you quick access into your gear. And a simple case of once you have the camera, lens, whatever you might require, turn the whole bag around again, secure, and get off and start shooting. So if you are using this camera in conjunction with a camera clip as an example, might be a good suggestion, being that you can have the camera clip here. So once you remove a camera, if you're one of those photographers that don't want to use camera straps, you want to stay quite nimble and agile and move around, you might find that once you've accessed the camera, you can put the camera straight back into the camera clip, put on the backpack, you're away and shooting. And moving to the front of the bag, again, you've got the front access into the top bucket, but you also have a side pocket here where you can stash other things like passports, documents, anything else. So if you are using this as an urban bag, even if you're not a photographer, you could use this as a work bag to get around in the city and use a smaller camera, a GoPro, a drone, a number of different things that all you creators that aren't exclusively photographers that could find benefit in a bag that has this form and functionality itself. So we'll move back around to the access that you've got here to your camera equipment using the removable top loader. So it's a simple case of pulling out the lid and you remove the whole top load portion, which will come out as its own top loading camera case. So this one here, it does ship with the included shoulder strap, which can be attached. There are multiple points, so it can be worn as a sling over the shoulder or around the waist to use this as either a front load or a side load or a sling as a separate camera bag when you just want to go really light and not have a full-size backpack. So if you are using the top load as your camera bag, that again opens up this whole area to utilize the whole backpack itself while traveling for other things. So you do have the option of wearing the camera bag full of other things like jackets and whatnot, and then using the included shoulder strap with the top loader and have that either at your front and around your waist by removing the waist belt itself, or you could thread the waist belt through and lock it onto your front to have quick access to your camera equipment, leaving your camera bag full with any other products, accessories that you might need. One thing you'll note on the side of the top loaders as well is this small security sash as well, which will lock away. So if you are using this, you can actually bolt that to the side of the bag, preventing somebody from grabbing, snatching and running away with this. It's just another added level of protection there. Now another cool thing that you'll see on all of the top loaders is they are extendable. So you'll find if you do have a longer lens, as an example like I have here, the 100 to 400, that will fit quite comfortably into the top loader as it is. But if you're working with the lens hood itself reversed in the correct orientation for usage, that then gives you the problem that you can't use the top loader in the medium size. I'll show you the large and compare that in one moment. So what you do have is the ability to extend the top loaders. So you'll find at the very bottom a second zipper. That will zip all the way around. Pop your hand down the center and you can expand the size of the top load itself, which now gives you the ability to house the lens itself with the hood on the correct way. And again, once you've got that in use, in cooperation with either the included shoulder strap or taking the hip belt out of the backpack and running it through the back of the top loader, you've got an external camera case and backpack combination to use in any which format you wish. So I'll take the backpack off the moment and just pop this down, and I'm just going to show you the difference between the large and the medium top loader and the suggestion of what you might go for based on what amount of camera equipment that you are using. So right now you'll see once I've got the 100 to 400 lens itself loaded into the top loader, it doesn't leave as much room for your camera body and second lens. So if you are using smaller cameras, right now here I'm using the EOS R5, but I'm filming on the EOS R3, which is a significantly larger body, which is where for me personally, I would go for the large top loader unit rather than the medium. So my choice in purchasing this bag would be to purchase the standalone bag, not the starter kit with the medium bucket included, and to buy the bag separately and the large size top loader. So if we compare the two, I'll just zip the bottom of the top loader up again so you can see the size difference without the extended area in the medium versus the large. So you'll see there's quite a significant difference, not in depth, but width. So width-wise, you definitely fit two lenses, a body with a lens attached on the large, whereas in the medium, you're probably limited to putting a body with one lens and one second spare lens on the medium. So looking at the two collapsed down, internal space, I'll just show you on the top. You've just got that extra width with three larger portions rather than the three smaller portions here for camera gear. So the large top loader, you'll also be able to unzip the bottom and extend by pushing down and maximizing the amount of extra room that you have for larger lenses. So it's not out of the question to fit potentially, say, a 300 f4 or some larger lenses into this if you needed to, but it's really that urban camera bag where you're using one body, 2 to 3 lenses. You might be using a 50mm prime, a 70 to 200 2.8 and a 24 to 70 2.8, or a 15 to 35 as an example. Out shooting urban environments and working out of a bag that you don't have to remove to access your equipment, stays on you, stays at your side, gets you up and shooting quickly without having to take the backpack on and off. So the top loader units, when you do have them extended, won't fit into the backpack itself. So you've got to remember that if you're packing up the bag and you're moving with it inside the camera unit itself, inside the backpack, you need to collapse the bottom of the bag again and zip it back up. And instead of the included medium size, I'm just going to show you the bucket itself. We'll insert into the side of the bag by simply putting it face down with the door facing downward. And then again, once you've got it in, you just need to unzip the door, lift the white flap on the inside of the camera bag door itself, which tucks that down and out of the way and gives you access to all of your gear again. So again, once you are wearing that bag, it's a simple case of taking the side shoulder strap off, turning your camera bag around, accessing your camera equipment quickly, zipping it back up, popping your bag back around and getting on with your photography. So if you're after a slim, compact and low profile bag that will fit into an urban environment, look no further than the Shimoda Side Street in the 22, or as you see here, the 28 litre, with the option of the larger top loader insert if you are using 3 lenses and a body. So I hope you've enjoyed taking a look over the new Shimoda Side Street series of bag. The Australian distributor Maxim have offered a 10% discount on the full range of Shimoda products, as well as all of the other brands that they distribute here in Australia. Simply go to Maxim's website at maxim.com.au and use the code PC10 at the checkout to save 10% on the full range of products that Maxim distribute here in Australia. Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed a deep dive into a fantastic new product for those urban and street photographers that want a low profile, lightweight and minimalist bag that is packed full of functions and features, highly protects your gear, extremely comfortable to wear, and you'll look good wearing it in the process. Thanks again. This is Jay Collier from the Photography Workshop Co. Until next time, happy shooting. Cheers.